Hey, P2, do you want to hear some trivia?
Oh, mate, I love a good game of trivia.
Guess what happens when a chook and two pelicans get together?
What's that, mate?
A clucking good time. That's right, you pelicans. The wobbly chook has jumped on board, keeping the bird presence strong. Whether you like a pale ale, brown ale, IPA, or a lager, the wobbly chook has you catered. Crafted from Yamba's finest chooks.
Better still, Mick, how do we get some wobbly chook?
That's easy, P2. Jump online at www.wobblychookbrewingco.com or pop into 26 Cole Street in the heart of Yamba.
And have a clucking good time.
Cluck out.
Cuckoo! Always remember, don't be a mud gudgeon and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you Pelicans.
Here he was. You were sort of hung up on his
Go and have a good time with them a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
And we are the Two Pelicans.
You.
Yeah, look, we've had a I've had a fortnight off, but obviously Bo has too. Yeah, just been fishing the AVT down at Forster, the dub around there, and just talking before, I was just too maggoted to try and put something together for our listeners and viewers. But look, something I would say that we didn't actually post an episode last week, but you guys, you legends, have actually kept on downloading our stuff consistently. So shout out to you guys, and we really appreciate that support. So good on yous.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. I did see that there was a few more uploads on other episodes. So
yeah,
and there was a few. I got a few messages. I did go do another one, helped out another mate with another podcast, and got messages. Well, where's yours? And I was like, oh, look, sorry, like,
yeah.
You were down there slugging it out, doing the brim, and we all know we had plans on doing it, but
yeah. I was just too cooked.
Plus the weather was pretty.
Yeah,
the weather would have made it a bit hard for us as well.
Now that you sort of said that, something that the reception that I had, I think was okay, but it wasn't great.
Yeah,
and obviously doing that video call and stuff that we do, it's actually quite just hammers everything. So
and important, we need it.
yeah, that's right. But the good news is everything looks like it's working well today. The sun's out.
Yeah.
The sun's out. We had some dry weather for a change, which is really cool.
The river's looking good.
The river's looking good.
Yeah, it's starting to clean up nicely.
All right. Well, this is just calls for a celebration. You better give me a wobbly chook.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This doesn't happen much in Grafton.
No.
There you go, man.
Thank you. Shout out to the wobbly chook down at Yamba, keeping us hydrated while we do these shows.
Fucking good time.
All right, mates. Look, I know I've got a bit to get through, and but obviously, what have you been up to for the last fortnight?
Flat out working. Had a wedding and that.
A work wedding or a friend's wedding?
Nah, work wedding.
Okay, yep.
I don't have friends that get married. And so playing around with the electric boat. Getting tuned in with the live scope. So I sort of snuck out to the reef the other day with with the missus and the young fella, and we didn't brain them.
Yep.
But for the missus and the young fella, like, I was playing around with live and zoning in on fishing, going, right, cast that way, 12 meters, and like I was actually getting to be a bit of a guide, but it was actually good because I was going, right, let him count to 3, and then I was going, being able to see it, watch it, the retrieve, and go, you should get hit in a second, and literally every time I'd say it, it was like, bang. So
yeah. Look, it's a really good, valid point, and I'll probably talk about this a little bit later, just with how I fished at Forster, but I have some interesting stories about that. And how, I guess, conditions sort of can affect the live, but it's just general fishing conditions. But you sort of realise when you're fishing in shallow water and things like that, you can actually spook them being too close to them. So a bit of a learning curve for me still, but I can assure you that I did have a few non-boaters that I said, there's one there, it's going this way. And
the old oyster channel trick.
Yeah, the old oyster channel trick. Yeah. No,
my biggest thing is like, I watch ball goes, And Morgo has this beautiful crisp screen. Oh, look, there's 3 fish. Oh, he puts his lure in. You see everything beautifully.
Yeah.
I just wanted to try get my sounder
Yeah.
somehow to that degree where,
Yeah.
like, because his is almost like you watch a fish fart.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. What
you see it.
What I would say with that, and I'm definitely no expert, and I still need to work on my settings a little bit more, is that where I was fishing on day 2 there, I was fishing up in the lakes around broken beds and weed, and the weed actually has quite a hard return.
Yep.
And obviously, depending on what the bits of weed are doing, and as you're driving, it sort of looks a bit funny, like you think, oh, hang on, there might be a little patch of fish there. They're not fish; it's just the clumps of weed, sort of moving around. And you're driving, you think they're coming around you, but it's not the case. And I guess after a while, you sort of figure out what all the different returns are.
Yep.
And then you know when it's a fish, and more importantly, I'm starting to try and I'm getting there with what's the difference between a brim and a mullet. I haven't really. I've seen the bass.
Yep.
I just haven't been able to get them to bite back. When you and I went out. But anyhow, it is what it is. But slowly learning that.
We might have to do a training day.
Yeah.
I know a spot where I can show you a bass or two what it looks like on the sounder at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So So look, anything else for the fortnight for yourself?
No, not really.
Not really?
Brother did all right last night with the jewfish. He's being kissed on the dick with the jewfish gurus at the moment.
Good on him.
Yeah,
Good on him.
He's whacking them,
Putting in the time, going at them the right time and everything, and too cold for me. I hate the cold. But,
I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, kudos to him.
But using the local PhD lures, so he's been loving them, and he's been whacking some good quality fish on them. So
no, that's really good.
Shout out Shithead.
Oh, you love him.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So look, obviously I went down to the ABT, double round at Forster. The first episode was always going to be at Forster, obviously with Manning River being a milk pond or a soup zone, severe flood. It basically both rounds went to Forster.
Yep.
So that was sort of an interesting sort of concept, and you wouldn't read about it. The first day, it was blowing like, I don't know, 40 or 50 Ks an hour. Chocolate. It was just
normal brim fishing
it was
event
terrible.
at the moment.
They closed the lake because it was too rough.
Okay.
Yep. So it was
Safety.
a severe wind warning. Yep. And so from there I dialed in what I was going to do. I was just going to fish natural edges. And then, just spot to a rack here or some sort of structure, just jumping through and working through that. And look at that. The first one worked out, I think, okay for me, for my standards. I sort of got to 14th. I probably played a little bit safe, but I sort of remembered how the Clarence round was for me and trying to swing big and ended up way short. So this time I sort of just stuck there and just tried to get them bag fillers. And did so and caught a lot of fish, especially on the first day. We got on a deep edge and the tide turned and created this massive eddy and the fish really came on. But
Standout lure for day one.
Okay, yeah. So I would say the Daiwa in-feet blade. I use that.
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I use that
nice.
in that real wild stoner looking color. I don't know what color it is, but I really liked that color, and also couldn't go past the Jackal Chubby Knocky Gill brown Knocky Gill. Yep. So they were probably the main two, and then throw in a cranker crab and the Crush City Creeper.
Yep.
They were probably all the lures that I used for the 4 days. So anyhow, did that, fished edges, picked a couple off a washboard. Second one around, second comp, went out, started off on the break wall. Between me and my non-boater, we got 3 in the first hour. I got one reasonable one. And then proceeded to go up and fish the lake because in my mind, the lake was closed.
Yep.
And it means that it hadn't had as much pressure as what down the front did. And anyhow, that's the way that I went with it. when I got up there, I thought I had all right fish, but they obviously weren't in as good a condition.
Yep.
Because I reckon I had, excuse me, similar bags, sizes, sorry, than I had on my first 2 days, but they were about 300 grams less.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they were probably a little bit underdone. But anyhow, that was okay, and I sort of believe that they were there, and I just hadn't quite mastered it yet.
Yep.
And so the last day was bugger it, I'm going to go out there and swing big.
Swing for the fences.
And the wind never come up. So anyone that fishes lakes and edges is like, you need a lot of wind. And talking about using the LVS 34, I could see fish, and first thing in the morning, I could sort of not drop it on their head, but I could just put it a couple of meters in front of them, and they'd be okay with that. And they'd strike it, and I say, look, here it's coming now to me non-boater. And they're like, oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And but as the sun come up, I sort of really had to try and throw it 10 meters away and hope that they were sort of going towards it, because they were getting spooked.
Yeah. Okay. So with those nice and calm conditions, they'll just get iffy. Yeah.
Come back later in the day, and obviously couldn't get something moving down the front. And shout out, I think, to all the winners. So Mark Healy got the first one done, then Mark Crompton got the second one done. Honourable mention, I was saying before, to Paul Langley, consistently 2/3 as well. And I think he sort of dialed in something there, and I think he was probably a little bit unlucky not to get up there in number one place. But anyhow. And also shout out, I don't know if I wrote this bloke's name down. I sort of met him. Chris. Chris comes second on that second day as well, second comp as well. And I've got a story about that, which is, I know, a bit of karma, I suppose. But anyhow, we'll talk about that in a second. And anyhow, so went out there, swung big, went back out there late in the day, and the wind just come up a fraction, because I was looking at the bomb and it was saying it was meant to come up, and I'm thinking, okay, well, that's great. We'll head back out there at 12 o'clock and try and make something happen. And we get out there and bang, bang, we got 2 fish really quick and better size, right? I'm thinking, here we go. And then the wind just dropped right off. So we're out there right to the death. There was a couple other people out there as well. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I lost a big one at the end. Just the hooks didn't set properly.
Yeah.
And in the start of the morning too, I lost a couple as well. So pretty disappointing for that second day for me personally, because I wanted to have 20 fish for the 4 sessions.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and at some stage you gotta sort of piss into the wind a little bit and have a crack. So
yeah.
But anyhow, that was fine. So look, one thing I would say is that some of the funny things that come out of the weekend, or not funny, but some of the cool things, I suppose. Look, Chris Hickson, we had on the show there a few weeks ago. Everyone brought their money. And it looked like it was big drug deals going down at the Club Forster there. That there's people all around his Ford Ranger. I think he's got a Ford Ranger, and there was lures and shit everywhere. And so there was just money, 50s going everywhere.
That's good.
Look, I think, excuse me, I think most things were about $10.
Yep.
So one lure was $10, or a bit of line was $10. So I don't know if there was much. Might have been more expensive ones there, but I didn't get there till a little bit later because I was obviously having a beer at the club. So, but we went there. We spent a few things. But to talk about Chris, he placed in the first round.
Yep.
And I just noticed that he was there, and he had a whole tackle box, because Chris actually brought him in tackle boxes. And so Chris Hickson brought him in tackle boxes, and Chris Smith had a whole tackle box that he just took a tackle box.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was close to his first earnings for his first comp that he spent back with Chris. And he comes second.
Karma.
Yeah.
That's karma.
That was pretty cool. And look, I think Chris supports Chris. Confusing, I know. It's probably confusing to you guys. But yeah. So I thought that was really good. And
That'll pay for some gumption and some jiffy and some new squeegees to keep close to get clean. So yeah, good work, fellas.
Yeah. I had a bit of a mud gudgeon moment. I'm not going to say too much because, but what we did have, I sort of got a fish on the second day of the first comp, I think it was, on the washboards there, and we sort of ran through, and these people seen it, and then they just tied up on the washboards where I was fishing. I'm like, what's going on? Anyhow, I think there was a few dramas there, and I let it go, but it sort of crushed me a little bit because I thought this might be the right time for the washboards fire because I got one good one out of there.
Yeah.
Well, not good one, but reasonable size, and anyhow, it is what it is, and and look, the other highlight of it was, got to camp with Blake and Nathan, two avid fishermen, Blake O'Grady, Nathan Booth, I think it is. They camped with them sort of diagonally across from them. They kept me and I kept them in check for most of the week, which was good. Though there was a bit of a graffiti incident, and Blake decided that he thought he'd bring it up with the potential people or children that might have done it. And when I was talking to Nathan about it, I wasn't there, I was off having a shower, but when I was talking to Nathan about it, him and his missus were quite concerned that this big Polynesian fellow was going to come over and just belt him. And but anyhow, I think it was all good in the end, but it sounded pretty funny. I wish I was there to see it, but and look, on top of that, like, just great catch-ups, great catch-ups.
And that's what it's all about. They
caught up with everyone. Only if some people might have had like 2 words or a couple of sentences to say, and just moving through the fish at the presentation, whatever it could be. It was just good catching up with people, and it was just I think it was a pretty good week all in all. As I turn my little notes over,
how much scent did you go through?
How much what?
Scent.
This is funny. So I think I put it up on a story.
That's how I saw it.
I had what's the brand of it? The big tubes. No, it wasn't S Factor.
It's
Mullet Guts.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's a massive tube of stink, right? And I'm thinking to myself, as I'm cleaning up the boat I think it was the first day, I'm thinking to myself, wonder where that went. I haven't seen it, and I was sort of looking around. Anyhow, I didn't worry about it. Anyhow, halfway through the second session, no, it might have been the pre-fish for the next day. I just went out for an hour or two on the lake just to see what it was like. And I've opened up my rod locker, and there's all this red coming down the side between my rod locker and my other locker. And I'm thinking like, oh, fuck, that's where you ended up. And pretty much because the lockers hit it, it squashed it. And it was funny because my non-boater's going, man, this isn't clipping down properly like your locker. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe something's bent with it. I thought there was a big issue with it. And I'm like, oh, just force it down, So there's more stink just going all through me boat. Anyhow, so I got back to the boat ramp, back to the camp. And I sat there with my finger and just tried to scoop it up and put it back in. It took me about 20 minutes to clean it all up. So that was shit.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that was pretty funny. And the last thing that I think I want to bring up about it, and I don't know whether I wrote it down. Just a shout out about the sprats. That was a learning lesson for me. I didn't think they worked this far up the north, New South Wales, but they do.
Yeah.
Nathan was also my non-boater for day 2 of
Day
the second
2
comp.
well. Yep.
Yeah, so that was cool. I'm just trying to read my notes, and I just can't understand what I write sometimes. You think I was a fucking doctor.
Yeah, I've looked after kindergarten recount writing, and you're putting that to a test at the moment.
Yeah. This is what you get, eh?
I can't.
I think one thing, and I'll just try and find it. The day 2 non-boater, the comp winner for the second competition, the non-boater, that was quite an emotional story, and I don't know whether everyone sort of cottoned on to what was going on to there, but
I saw a little bit of it. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit of heartstrings.
If you haven't, or you're not quite sure what the hell I'm talking about, go watch the interview with Steve Morgan on the second day. Puts a few things into perspective, I would say. And when he and I feel bad, I feel like his name's Mark. I think it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I apologise. You look it up, though. Look it up. I'm hopeless trying to use the phone and talk to this at the same time. I'm a male. I can only do one thing at a time. Yeah. So when he accepted the award and that, it was just a real emotional moment, and I think everyone was quite just felt for the bloke, and I didn't even know the story, but could just feel that this meant something to someone a lot more greater than just winning a comp. Mark, I did get that right. Mark Street.
Yeah.
And look, I think they didn't really touch on it on the presentation, but they did touch on it in the interview. And look, it's just a great thing that for him to win, and it sort of puts a lot of things into perspective, away from trying to be the best or do anything, trying to be a winner in life. Like, I think there's greater things there. So
Yeah.
shout out to you, Mark. That was quite a moment, one that I won't forget anyhow.
And I'm just thinking on a lighter note,
Mm.
do we need to change our name to Bloody Mark? Because if your name's Mark, apparently you're a good bloody good brim fisherman.
yeah. That might be the thing. We'll have to go to the birth, deaths, and marriages for a name change.
Yeah, God. Mark's and brim fishermen.
But look, Mark Healy, just a wizard at the moment. Obviously, between him and Cromo, there's AOI up for grabs there at the moment. Cromo come back in that second round. Truly has to be congratulated, because I think by I would say the 6 day of fishing on that river, not everyone went out on the second pre-fish, but excuse me, I'm still trying to get over this cold. I think for him to win that and just sort of bring everything back to, it's a real arm wrestle now for AOY. Full credit to him, eh? Like, just full credit to him. It was really good to see. And I could tell there was some emotion with him as well in him accepting that award. And
didn't he go over to WA? Didn't he sneak over to WA as well?
No, I think he's done that a couple of times. Yeah.
Well, I don't mean sneak over. Good on him. Like, I love fishing.
No, if you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, I love fishing the arenas and that as well. So,
yeah.
But putting in the miles and getting the smiles, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, and that's good. And obviously someone's lent him a boat over there, and that's worked out really well. And look, Joey's done that too for some Western Australians that come over and fished last year. So, it's good to see guys helping out there. And same with Mark Healy. His boat broke down in the pre-fish for the first day, and someone locally lent him his boat, and he's come out on top there.
Yeah.
So congratulations to everyone involved. Congratulations to the top 10 places as well, both boater and non-boater. I think they've done exceptionally well, especially in some trying conditions, and then like heavy fish conditions as well. So just awesome. Anyhow, shall we move on from that?
Yeah, well, I thought, we might quickly do the, since we talked about all the cool brim stuff, which happened, we might talk about the little ABT win down at Glenbourne for
the bass. Yeah, we've got to get into that, because we didn't cover that because we've been off.
Because we've been off.
Yeah.
So, probably Daiwa's best bass fisherman right now, Braden Shue.
Yep.
He can probably declare it. And funny enough to say is that was his first bass win.
But except for the Open.
Yeah. Oh no, he's an Open and Grand Final.
Grand Final, yes. Sorry, yes.
So, but for just our normal regular rounds, that was his first, event win. So yeah, congratulations, Braden. He ended up getting his 6 fish for 7.795 kilos.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Ryan Bullard for nonnies, getting 4 fish for 4.330. So,
and did it end up being an edge bite? I sort of haven't had a chance to look at that.
Yeah, so it was pretty tough for guys. For a lot of people didn't get fish and got fish one day, not the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, end up being edge bite, jerk baits, and that. Braden himself actually snuck way up the back further, sort of like pushed through the logs. Logs sort of scared a few people off, and he was sort of one of the only ones to get up there, and whacked them on the old spinnerbait. So And I think by memory, like 20 years ago or something, when the when the dam was at that height and ABT went there, it was a spinnerbait bite.
Yeah,
One
okay.
on spinnerbait as well.
Yep.
So yeah, congratulations, Braden and Ryan Bullard.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if I have much news. I hope you might be able to jump in here. Other than I've seen QTS Brimbrowns come up on the 22nd of June. Any other fishing, bass electric-y? What's the next ABT? Queensland bass something?
Oh,
I
that's
don't
still
know
a
what's
while
going
away.
on.
Anyway,
Still
we've
a while
got
away.
more important things. We've got Bass Electrics this weekend.
All right. Where's that at?
So that's at Somerset, proudly sponsored by
Ooh.
Daiwa Australia.
There you go.
Yep. So Somerset this weekend. Pre-fish will start Friday, briefing 6 o'clock.
Is it going to be nice weather?
No, it's going to be shit. It's going to be freezing cold.
Oh, look, this time of year, area is going to be cold, but yeah.
I think the wind's got to watch the wind. We're predicted for a bit of wind at like 1 o'clock. So,
okay.
And that starting from the spit. So
how many turning up? Do you know?
At the moment, last week when I checked, I think I had 29 entries. So
wow, that's really good.
That was a week ago. So
yeah.
Expecting to hopefully crack that 40. There's a few new names there. There's some names there that should be there that aren't there. So I think they're probably just waiting till the end like I do.
Moment, I'm just get lazy.
Yeah, I'm shit at it. I don't do it until like, well, I've got to be there. So
yeah.
That's going to be a really exciting round. So it'll be exciting to see what Jollop Big Bass is going to be this weekend. I reckon I'm hoping to see a 3.5. Someone pull a 3.5 kegger out of there. It's possible. It's possible to see 4 kilos. But the beauty about this place is that you could win the comp with one fish.
Yeah, okay.
Like we all know what Somerset's made of.
Yeah, it's got some horses in it. It does have some horses.
But from reports, what I've been hearing, a lot of the fish are up.
Now, I have a question to ask.
Yeah.
Now, Somerset's it's not a speed restricted area, is it?
No.
Now, I'm thinking of Wivenhoe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, what's Wivenhoe 6 knots?
Yeah.
So, how many of these little electrics go faster than 6 knots?
None of them. I got you, boys. Look, there might be.
Doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter at
doesn't
Somerset.
matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter at Somerset. We're more worried about getting taken out by bloody
skiers. Yeah.
Hopefully it's too cold.
Too cold. Too windy.
Yeah,
it's a shithole.
Yeah, they'll be far, far away.
Yeah.
And that's looking forward to. And then I don't know. Is there a local round this weekend?
Is it?
I don't know. I think there might be a local round this weekend.
I haven't seen anything.
I don't know.
Yeah, if it is, it hasn't sort of made my Facebook feed, which doesn't mean anything. But I'm going to be going away. I'm going up the Gold Coast again. You wouldn't read about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah, kids going to a theme park. So yeah, big family bash. But I won't be fishing this weekend, unfortunately. Some might say 6 days was enough for you, Michael, but I'm actually really keen to get back out on the water because I felt like I learnt so much.
Yeah.
They're in Hawkesbury as well. Two sort of different techniques in them arenas that I really want to bring back to the Clarence here and try and work on. So anyhow.
Yeah, well, the river's looking really good, so.
Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time.
That's it. Chakasiki will go.
Yeah.
And that. So, KFC.
Oh, yes.
Bit of good news with that.
Yeah.
I think at the last time I saw, I think there was just over 2,800 signatures.
That's right,
We've had a few of the local members get involved.
Yeah,
now.
So local and federal, which is good.
Yep.
I think there's a bit of pressure going on there.
Quite funny too that I just heard that they've released trying to release a nature tourism event in the area, but they're trying to close down one of the things that is a nature tourism event.
Yeah.
So look, I think that's going to be interesting, and I don't think it's over yet, but I think the power of the people are putting the push in the right way.
Yeah. And look, I think talking to someone on Facebook about it, which that person did have a valid point, and when we were having a discussion, was that council will probably have to really come to the party in this, I think, because Water New South Wales aren't really a how can you say it? They're not there to manage tourism. You know what I mean?
No.
They're there to manage the water infrastructure, and I do get that, right? However, they've got to allow other land managers like council, or even the KFC for that matter, if the funding's available, to have that opportunity to continue with it. So anyhow, we just have to sit tight, see what happens, and hopefully the power to the people prevail.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, positive.
All right, so what do you want to do? Do you want to get a guest on?
Yeah, we might give our guest a call.
Righto, well, look, we'll get Bo onto that.
All right.
Cough my lungs up.
So hopefully this gentleman wants to answer. So this week's guest is going to be Matt Fraser from Barambah Lures. We're going to talk all things Matt, how Matt got into the industry, how he started, what he's doing now, some of the inventions that he's sort of brought in, and that. We'll talk about some of the great work he does sponsoring all the events and that. How he's dibbling his foot back into the tournament scenes. There's lots to talk about, Matt.
Now, before you ring,
how'd
you go with this whole copying thing? Let's deal with that while we're here.
So the copying of the blade lure for the $50 no tackle voucher is going to be up this. When do we drop? We drop Fridays, don't we?
Yeah.
Fridays. It's going to be up Friday morning. We're going to run it until the next episode.
Okay.
If there is multiple people that get it, we'll put you in a spinny wheel.
Yep.
And we'll do it. If there's only one person that gets it,
you win.
Woo. And if no one wins, we'll post it again. We'll go for another week. We'll go for
another week.
We'll go for another week.
Righto.
And that. But if no one gets it, we'll put the $50 Mo Tackle voucher into a kitty.
Yep.
And we'll grow it into a next prize where.
Okay.
See if you guys are smart enough to win it. Let's see.
Righto.
All right.
Let's get Matt on.
Let's see if Matty.
Let's get Matt on, because that will be, I think, a question that we will ask later on. How to try and be innovative and not to bring out things that are too similar or to that effect. Anyhow, and everyone has a different view and opinion on that. Like I said in a couple of episodes. As a consumer, I don't really care anymore. But, if you are in the industry, you are making lures, I guess I can see where you've come from.
No, exactly right.
There we go. It's working.
Hey, mate, how you going?
Good, Matt. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Matt. You're on the Two Pelicans podcast. How you going today?
Yeah, good. How you guys going?
We're having a wobbly chook. You wouldn't read about it. Just knocking back a few chooks and talking all things about fishing. And what a better time to get you on, because you're quite a bit of a lure innovator at the moment.
Yeah, I've got a fair bit going on at the moment, and more and more stuff happening. Playing with samples and things at the moment, as well as just had a shipment land last week, and it's all happening at the moment.
Yeah. Mates, look, I think we've got to go back to the start, especially when we interview a lot of people here, is that, when did you start fishing? What got you into fishing? And then, when did the whole lure thing come about?
Yeah, right back at the start. I was grew up out in Dalby, the Darling Downs, and my uncles took me out fishing in the Condamine, and it was bobbing yabbies for yellowbelly, and actually old man took me out to Lake Broadwater, and him and my brother caught a fish, and I didn't get one, so when I was about 4.
That happens to Bo all the time.
Yep. Bloody brothers.
And then just hooked this first time, and bloody had anything to do with fish. I was just obsessed with them ever since. So it's you either got it or you haven't, and I don't know where it comes from, but obviously having uncles and people to take you out fishing makes a big difference to get you started.
Yeah, that's right. And I think everyone, their first memories of fishing are always with family. And I think for a lot of us, when we reflect back in life, when some of these people aren't around anymore, they are some really good moments to hold on to, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mm.
No. And then, after that was just on holidays and things like that. We used to go to the Sunshine Coast or the Goldie and, fishing for whiting and bream and flathead. And I just remember causing lots of tangles for my uncles and that sort of thing. But, just stayed persistent and got to the age later on in my 20s, I'm taking them out fishing and showing them how to do it.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
And so the lure passion for you, when did that sort of start? Making lures?
Well, it started before I started fishing because I started reading Fishing World magazines when I was about 10 or 12. I was actually helping my mum out. She was cleaning the council library. This was when we were living at Mogan and in the South Burnett, and I was helping her out. And then I come across fishing magazines in the library there, and I'd just be sitting there reading fishing magazines, and there was a couple of articles in there at the time. One was Dick Lures. So it was so Peter Newell was one, and the other one was Eric Moller.
Yep.
Had articles in there on how to make lures. So I started making lures, even though I lived somewhere where you couldn't catch fish on lures, unfortunately. But I've got some things that I made when I was sort of 12 or 13.
Wow.
Just made them out of bits of wood, and I was like, sandpaper and saw and making a mess in Dad's shed all the time, getting in trouble for not cleaning up.
And like you talk about making these lures, are you a sort of a creative person? Like I'll pull apart P2 here. Like he makes lures and that, but he likes to make other little wooden things. Like he has a knack to try and make other things. So I'm assuming there was an extension of other things that you did as well in the tool shed there.
Oh yeah. Well, I've always been all right at art, and then manual arts at school, woodwork and metalwork. I sort of got top of the class at that stuff.
Yeah.
I was always pretty handy with my hands.
Yep.
And then just didn't like. I didn't sort of. I went and joined the army after high school, and then didn't sort of get back into making a few lures until I was in my mid-20s. Maybe I made a few, but I weren't particularly good.
I think most people you speak to when they start getting into this, I think there's a lot of error in the trial and error space. But yeah, that would make sense, I suppose.
It's something you got to. There's no hard and fast rules on it all. You sort of got to trial and error and just have a go at stuff and eventually get there. Make a few and break a few and don't use the right wire or bib material or whatever else. So but there's so much information now with YouTube and everything. It's a lot easier for young fellas or ladies to get into making whatever you want to learn and do.
So I guess look, you've had a bit of trial and error. You started making a few things. When did it sort of, I guess, click for you that you might have a proper go at this, and then following that, how did I guess Barambah come about?
Yeah, well, I was right into tournament fishing, so I wasn't really making lures. When ABT first started, or even before ABT, I was fishing answer comps, which were a lot of line class comps, with freshwater, and then I started off in the fresh, and then had a go in the saltwater stuff through the answer clubs, and then got into ABT when they started, and just I was mad on the lure fishing and whatever. It didn't have to be, it was anything, hard bodies, plastics, and whatever else was going on. And at the time, sort of early 2000s, with ABT, soft plastics were sort of booming. And then I got into making jig heads first.
Yep.
Sort of got to know Gareth from TT back in the day before he was sort of into making jig heads, that he had a spin casting machine there, and we shaped up a few head designs in brass, made spin casting molds, and then started using gamakatsu hooks and making, different jig heads for that bass market is what first started on. And did a few things with Garrett. That's when he started Nitro Jig Heads, actually. With Dan Stead, who's from he's with Wilson now, but
Wilson
he was with
now, you used to have Pimp My Lures.
Pimp My Lures, So he was good mates with Dan. We were actually in the army together, and we started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we started Nitro together, and he got offered it.
I've got a quick story about Dan, because he was helping out with the ABT there for a bit, and I had a spring bust in my foot pedal, in the Minn Kota foot pedal back in the day, and he just done some TV repairman jobs to it. Just goes, oh, don't worry about that. We'll just get a size, I think it was a size 14 treble, and hooked it around the spring and back onto the bottom. And I didn't have to change that for another 2 years until the hook rusted out.
That's some MacGyver shit, right?
Well, that's some MacGyver. That's what we did. Yeah, we had to do heaps of that in the army, keeping like he was a fitter and I was a mechanic, so I had to keep vehicles and all sorts of equipment running in the army out bush. So bush mechanic skills definitely.
So sorry to get back to your story. So I guess when was Barambah starting off for you?
Well, I didn't start Barambah till 2015. I actually I did Nitro Jig Heads for 3 years myself, and I sold it to Pure. Yeah, then I sold it to Pure Fishing, and I actually worked for Pure Fishing for 12 years. And then it was only after going in 2015, somewhere around there, that I got into, I had a bit of a fascination with the timber lures again, and went back to when I was first, in the answer days before ABT. I was, trolling a lot of fishies and blitz baggers and things like that for yellows and bass in the dams. And so I had a fair few of those lures. Then I sort of got back into starting to make timber lures myself, and absolutely loved it. But I actually did all the research on all the original Australian makers.
Yeah.
Like right back to all those real early ones, and got right into the history on Lure Lovers as a forum before sort of Facebook got too big.
Yeah.
There's heaps of history of timber lure making on Lure Lovers website and the forums and everything there. So I got right into it. I met a heap of different lure makers, and there's a really good community of lure makers through that and through the expo guys you meet.
Yes,
and,
yes. Joey always fondly speaks of the Lure Expo. It's his one of the busiest times of year for him, and I assume that it's probably you have similar things happening for yourself as well. That's not too far away, is it?
This weekend?
Yeah, it's coming up. A couple of weeks, I think. I'm not involved with it this year, but I had some really big years. I'm not doing the timber lures now, so I had some really big years where you just go flat out for a couple of months leading up to it, and particularly the last few weeks, just a lot of sleepless nights, sort of working till all hours, falling asleep, standing up, that sort of thing. There's so much time and effort goes into physically making them and then paying them and learning all those processes.
Yeah.
But guys like Keza Lures and Levo Lures, those guys, heaps of guys that helped me out when I was starting out. Aaron from Cutafara, Shane Murphy from Viper Lures.
Yeah.
Just heaps of those guys that they just, once you sort of know them, you can give them a bell or a message and say, hey, what would you do here?
Yeah. So Barambah started, 2015. Did I get that right?
15. Yeah, that's when I first made timber lures under the Barambah Lures brand.
Yep. And
then I was still full time with Pure Fishing until 2017 when I went out of my own. And I don't know if it's 2016 or 2017. 2016, I think it was. I left Pure Fishing and took the big step to go back out on my own. And there's a bit of a rude shock. She's pretty hard work to make a living out of it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
But-
no, skinning timber is a tough job. I know. My little mate up there at casino. He'll soon tell you that it's not all shits and giggles. And it, like you said, a lot of hours into it. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it is huge. And then the more attention to detail you have and, you know, you put more time into it, it certainly can take its toll. But, it's sort of well appreciated as well. The guys who are right into the timber stuff.
I was going to say that when you started your Facebook auctions and all that, that just didn't that sort of hit a craze. Did you expect that to go as crazy as what it did?
No, that just we sort of just like this the ceiling of prices on timber lures just kept going up and up with auctions, but people were still seeing value because every time, like anything I sold at Expo, you know, and it got resold in auctions.
Yeah.
Over time, like a lot of people hold on to them, but some people get in and out of it and move them on, and they've all gone down in value since I first made them.
Yeah,
like I think I've got one of the lizards and a cockatoo and a manic budgie.
Yeah,
but I ended up selling one of the crazy-eyed budgies to a mate because he didn't have a wooden Barambah, and I said, right, give me a stupid price. I was like, I'll sell it on a stupid price. I think he gave me like $550 for it, and I was like,
wow.
I think I only paid like $275 on the auction. Like, he'll watch it, listen to this now, and he'll be like, bastard. But yeah, no, like crazy prices for your artwork, and that's what it is. Like that,
it's art.
Yes, it is art. I don't.
And if you put that bit of extra time into doing them nicely, mounting them nicely, you know, signing and dating them, so there's that information there as well, and then have limited ones as well, and you can't. Yeah, like I had a limited run of 100 blue tongues and 100 JD cods,
the JD cods,
and that sort of things, and those ones very rarely come up now. Like they're out, there's 100 of each of them out there, but they don't really change hands all that much, or not in public sort of auctions.
Yeah.
But you see, some of the non-numbered stuff that still, goes for really good prices. The last expo I did was we sort of had Wes Watson working for me almost full time, and it was almost like 3 months' work leading up to it to have all those lures there. But like I sold out of 95% of them on the first day.
Yeah.
And there was like a handful of things left for the second day. There was sort of, that was 2 years ago now, I think. So,
So I guess the one of the questions that comes to mind for me is you've moved out of the timber and you've come into some pretty innovative other sort of methods with lures. You want to talk a little bit through that change and I guess maybe the reasoning behind it, if you like, and just let us know what wonderful things that you've got there and potentially might be releasing later on.
I sort of tried to convert that creative, cool timber type lure into the plastic mass market sort of thing that you can sell through tackle stores with lures like the Manic Budgie and the Hectic Yabby and Baby Perch and the Bidgewongs, that sort of thing. And it's sort of it went all right, but some of the models like the Manic Budgie and Baby Perch, like with the extra fins and claws and everything, it sort of adds to the price.
Yeah.
So, they're a $40 retail lure, whereas people who want to just fish a lure, can buy something that do the similar job for, 20 to 25 sort of thing. So it sort of went okay for a little while, but it sort of didn't sort of, it wasn't super popular in that mass market. Like it's obviously not a timber lure. So it's not really a collectible thing. Although they did go nuts on the collector thing when I stopped making them. Yeah, but it's not something like now I've dialed it right into like stuff that tournament anglers are going to want to use and that everybody wants to use because they're going to catch you the most fish for a decent price. But we've still got some, innovative and cool features of them. We've got assist hooks on quite a few of our hooks, quite a few of our lures now. And just trying to get more into that, the meat of the market, that stuff that sells a lot at good prices. So I've sort of been through that stage of doing all the timber and collectible lures and did quite well at that. But I've sort of gone full circle back to, the tournament days. I'm trying to get into more and more tournament fishing again myself, but it's just been tough because I've been so busy.
Well, let's just bring up one here. Now, I'm going to get this wrong because I'm terrible with names and lure names and colours and all the rest of it, right? And hopefully P3 here can help me out. But the one with the chin nut?
Yeah. The divers.
The divers.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good innovative idea for a few reasons. I think the first one is you can just jam them a mile because of the extra weight. But up here in the Clarence or down here in the Clarence, we need that extra depth, right? And I think what it does, and I'm not going to take anything away from other brands, but to try and get something down that deep in a hard body ends up being quite a big a bib. And that just gets thrown all over the place, especially if it's windy. But your design is actually, because it's heavier, because it's not a huge beak on them, you can really pitch them a fair way up along the rock wall and just crank them out.
Yeah, that was the idea. That's the deep fatty 38 you're talking about.
Yeah, that would be yes.
Yeah, that's getting a really good following. That one. It was. It's essentially the deepest diving under 40 mil crank on the market, and it also casts like a bullet because it's it's got a good weight to it. Plus, you can put the chin nut. The one that comes in the packet will make it suspend, and then if you want to put a heavier one on, you can fish it down deeper as well. Yeah, but it's it's really coming into its own and getting more of a following this year particularly.
And I think tournament anglers have been getting the results on it, which is probably what from a lure maker that's what you want to see. So I think
definitely.
I think Chris Lonnie done well in the Clarence with it.
Yep. We've been whacking fish on them.
I think
we haven't won anything, but we've been whacking fish on them.
No. We fell outside the top. We fell outside the top 3 in the local comp. We come fourth. But,
There was a really good result in the Clarence that teams won down there just the other week.
Yes.
One of the teams come third or second or something, third or fourth in fishing with that the deep fatty.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, that was good. And there's a few of the guys. More and more getting out there because it's just a matter of spreading the word and getting them out there.
And
a lot more. The Vibinator's coming in for a bass win soon, I reckon. It's gonna have its first bass win shortly, I reckon.
Yeah.
Could probably even be Elion. I reckon Elion at Mulgrove with that thing. He
did well again yesterday.
I know the cheeky little shit. And then he's sending me pictures this afternoon going, I saw Matt, look what I've got, sending me the 55s. And I'm like, oh, that's it. You're going down. I'll see him in a couple of days. So I'll rate his couple box.
No, I had a little session on him out at Mulgrove as well. It wasn't much time and it was freezing and rainy, but the 38s with a little chin nut on them, they're gold. And Elion's saying he couldn't get them to eat anything else yesterday. So in that tough bite, they could be a good thing. But I've also fished them at Copeton for yellers and caught a few fish scoping
mention them. That, yeah.
So they're good all around. I thought they'd be more of a brim lure, but they're actually doing better in the fresh on the bass and yellers.
Yeah. And it sort of brings me into, I guess, a question. And this, I don't know if there's some code of conduct between lure makers or whatever. So I don't really want to throw it out there. But we spoke about being innovative, and obviously over the years we're seeing things not so much be copied, but look exactly similar. There's a 10 or 15% thing, and all this other stuff. What can I ask you as a lure maker? What's your thoughts on all that?
It's a pretty ruthless market when you start playing with the big boys.
Yeah.
Like the big guys don't care. There's certain brands who pretty much just get another lure that's successful and send it to a factory and say, "Here, make that."
Yeah.
Like there's no ethics or morals about it. They're just out for the bottom line.
Market share.
Some brands, and but what I've found in the long run, it doesn't pay off. Like you just see, like karma bites them on the ass in one way or another.
Okay. Yep.
That's what I found. I obviously don't want to go down that track. So everything I do, I'm doing something that's got a different feature. Like there's no point me doing another lure that's already out there and just going, "Oh, here's my version of it." If I'm going to do a lure for a particular purpose, it's got to have a different, something else different to it that's going to make it, like it's only going to be, go deeper, or have a different hook set up, or have a weight, the chin nut set up on it, or assist hooks. But the stinger shrimps I'm doing now, like there's, 10 different prawn lures out on the market, but none of them have got a stinger hook. So that's and that's gold. Like it's only just got shipment landed of a couple of the sizes. And the other ones I sold out of them quickly, and then I've got restock, and then they're going great. But it's just I'm just trying to keep up with the back end of the business of getting stock to shops and doing deals and marketing. I really need to do a lot more marketing, but it's all going.
It's going good.
Yeah, it's all going in the right direction. I'm certainly super confident of the products, and the guys are fishing. I'm like, wow, they're good. So it's really just word of mouth.
So tell me about this prawn. This sounds interesting because Bo's like he's salivating.
Well, when they first sort of got dropped, I think I went and whacked. I think in like 3 days I went bream, EP, bass, flathead, jewfish, cod.
Yeah. Right.
And then Matt was like, I was like, I need smaller ones. Like, I want to target it with the EPs. And Matt's like, I've got 55s coming in. So these smaller ones.
And sorry, is it a surface or like a slow sinker?
Slow sinker.
Yeah.
Down. You can put the little chin nuts on them.
Yep.
On these smaller ones, if the current's going to go faster to get it down.
Okay.
But yeah. Hook
Sounds
at the top,
awesome.
Little stinger at the back on the little tail, so when it flicks and when you got the brim just picking, it's deadly. Oh. Flathead love the big ones, like
the 90s.
Yeah, they'll be good.
And we've got the 125s out now as well.
Oh, so, got the big snapper out at sea.
Snapper and juries and threadies and all sorts of stuff.
I forget about the threadies.
No,
we don't get that.
Won't be too much longer. They'll work their way down that far. They're working their way down. That's it. No, but the little 55s, I took them down to Gippsland and fished the ABT down there, and just caught a heap of fish, and a heap of big brim on them, and it was like 60 to 70% hookup was on the stinger hook.
On
flatties, it's like 50 to 60%, but brim, the hookup rate on the stinger is even higher.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's just a single assist right in the tail, and it keeps it upright with the weight system, so it doesn't get snagged up. Any more than
sort of half like curls. You can sort of like half tuck it in a bit and then like half curl it up as well. So they're pretty good snag resistant, and go through weed pretty well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, it's we're just coming into obviously brim seasons now, but coming into the floodies as well with the 90s. So we've got a 90 mil in a finesse or 90 mil in heavy duty, and if you have a look at my Instagram, it's there's one of the guys, Big Rant, has been smashing heaps of jacks and dewies and snapper and threadies on the 90F.
Yeah, nice.
Just out kayak fishing.
Well, I'm going to go up to the Flathead Classic, so I might have to just get
BCF,
a couple of them as well.
BCF Grafton has it all stocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 90Fs are the go. So F's for finesse and flathead, and HD for the heavy. They've got heavy duty hooks in the same body. but yeah, different hook setup in them.
applications. Yep.
And what's your hook brand? What's your go-to hook brand? Because I know these stingers are lasting, like their quality.
Yeah, well, the assist hook in it at the rear is a BKK.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But the main hook is a factory built hook to my specs because it has to be, made a certain way with the right angles and everything to suit the weight system we put in it. So everything's there on those hooks is all engineered. Same with like a Barra jig head. That hook's made. It's not a brand hook off the shelf.
Hook.
It's one that I've designed specifically where everything's, the wire diameter, the gate, the point, even the size of the barb and eye height and eye size. Everything's sort of built to my specs. And they've been obviously super popular for years.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pretty excited about these stinger shrimps landing, and probably the hottest lures of the year so far have been the deep fatty 38s. The stinger shrimps and baby bidgewongs just really tick over. They just keep selling and selling for bass and cod.
Yeah.
They've been really consistent, and obviously Viburnate has also been a bit of a revelation.
Yep. Yeah. And look, that was a good piece of technology. I remember. I think we done a little quick video for Joey's YouTube channel at the last after, and you had them there. And it's a great concept because just to be able to set the hooks or the assists up like the way that you've got it, it's a bloody good idea.
It's the only way you can sort of get two sets of assists, like on the 58s and the Flats Dog 64s. You can two sets of assists on a hard body that close enough they don't foul up with each other. And it's easy enough to change them out. You just need a split ring pliers and change them out. And we've got all replacement hooks for them as well. If you need to change them out for get bitten off or whatever. But
now I know this is probably going to change the name of them, but are we getting silent ones yet?
Not yet. No. We've got to get a bit more following in the other guys, but
all right, I'll keep pushing. Keep pushing.
But us down the track, we'll expand into different variants of them for sure.
Okay.
So you're obviously going to AFTA again this year.
Yes. Yep.
There you go.
We got a sort of 6x3 stand there again. We'll have the tank or two tanks, but we've got. A couple of new lures. Got some jerk baits going actually.
Ooh, nice.
So
I'm gonna put it out there to you. Me and P1 are gonna be getting there and trying to do the rounds. Hopefully, if you've got a little bit of time, we'll be able to do a quick little interview with you.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
if it's okay, could you bring a product that we could steal off you? Because what we want to do is we want to create an after basket from everyone. And give it away to one of the listeners that couldn't actually get to AFTA and experience AFTA. So we sort of want to give a goodie after basket away to someone that didn't get to go to AFTA.
Yeah, no, we can do that for sure.
Be a hat, sticker, lure, could be anything.
Yeah. And look, we'll I guess one thing that we did there at the podcast last year is we went around and we generally just asked what was the most excited lure that each company had. And then we asked them some pretty random questions because this show is about stupid, random, funny shit. So
making fishing
with some fishing in between and some good stories. But anyhow, I think we're just probably coming to time. Is there anything else that you want to add there, P3 or Matt, for that matter? We better give your website a plug and let everyone know where you can find these lures now. Is probably the best thing.
Yeah. No, well, down your way, we've got them at Yamba Bait and Tackle. We've got them at BCF, working on the Grafton guys, the other ones.
Firearms and the BP. Don't worry, I'm still bugging them.
Yeah.
I'm still on. Don't worry, mate. I haven't forgot about you.
No. Yeah, so website's barambah.lures.com.
Yep.
We've got we've got hoodies. We've got more caps coming next week. We've got, all the lures on there. You can check them out. Everything's there. And we've got a YouTube channel as well.
Sweet.
Done a little bit we did that Gippsland trip on YouTube. We've done a few Barra trips, travelling with Barra jig heads. We've just got to get out there and do a lot more. We're just expanding the range, every year by, 6 or 8 new models, and we've got more stuff coming. I don't know if you guys also remember the bony shads I did.
Yeah.
Got that coming out in a revised version.
Ooh,
that for the cod and the Barra guys. That after should be pretty cool. But right now I'm just under the pump massively getting orders out. It just hasn't stopped since they landed last Wednesday. I was delivering to shops on Sunday.
Yeah.
Took them down to Sporties at the Gold Coast and Tackle Warehouse, and got them out to Ipswich on Saturday to Charlton. So we getting them out to stores all over the place, and and then obviously I took 14 boxes of the post office today. So it's just all been happening. But I've got so much. Like I did a road trip all the way down to Melbourne and through Sydney, and I've still got to follow up with those stores to now that the stock's here. I just haven't got around to that. So it's really snowballing at the moment, and it's really gaining momentum and taking off. So
well, we better let you go, so you get back to there and get them boxed and sent out. But look, Matt, thanks for your time, and thank you for joining us on the Two Pelicans podcast.
All right, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, guys, and good work.
All right, good on you.
Thanks,
Talk to you
mate.
soon.
See you, buddy.
Cheers, bye.
Cheers, guys. See ya. Bye.
And there we go, guys. Matt Fraser from Barambah Lures. If you want to check out his stuff, look, barambahlures.com. Maybe are you on the end of it?
Yeah.
Yep. And look, as you might have heard there too, he's got a YouTube channel, so go check him out. Look, what I would say is probably one of the guys that has, or one of the lure makers that has some really good new innovations, and I think it's really worth supporting these guys to come up with innovative ideas like he has. You and I both use that Crank 38 with the weights there. It is actually a pretty good lure to use, especially up around the north coast here, and not to mention everyone else is getting things out in the west with them. And
no, there's a lot of good lures, the Viburnators and the Stinger Shrimps, like. And as he said, like he's now
you're gonna have to go with these Stinger Shrimps.
They're really good. I'm excited. I'll probably steal all of them off Elion. He doesn't know it yet. Cheeky, be a little smart ass and send me pictures. Oh, look what I got. Yeah, well, look what I'm stealing. So, yeah, like I had the 90s and that, and yeah, I've thrown them around a little bit. And I've had some good fun on them. So,
righto. All right. Look, we're about to end things here, but we do have one yarn that Bo's going to try and find on his phone. But like I said, if there's any questions that you have about what we've spoken about today, you can always reach us at the Two Pelicans podcast at gmail.com, or send us a message in Messenger. If you have a yarn, do what this person's done, send it to that. If you've got a concern, an issue, or there's an issue with maybe your local fishing community, I guess like what's happened up at Kyogle, feel free to reach out. We're happy to plug it and go from there. So, we're ready to go.
I think so.
Here's a yarn from P2. I've not listened to this. No one's listened to this. And
oh, dear God.
I'm scared.
I know, because he's getting ready for the expo.
Oh, he's been doing 16, 17 hours.
On the rums. Blistered fingers. Oh, here we go.
Hey, you Pelicans. Old P2 here reporting in with a friggin' yarn here for the ages. You're going to want to wrap your ears around this one. So I've been around the traps a bit, fishing my whole life here, there and everywhere, and I've never seen anything like this happen. So a long weekend obviously just passed, and headed out for a bit of late-minute trout fishing before the season closed, obviously, on the Sunday night. So I think Saturday morning we're out there, and walking up this little rocky creek, pretty shallow, pretty weedy, gin clear water. You can see absolutely everything happening in front of you. So the young bloke throws his little double clutch in, I think it was, rips it back. I watched this trout of probably, 25 centimetres just chase this lure, boom, straight to the bank. And when he's going to flick the lure up, the trout's trying to eat this lure out of the bush. I was like, bloody hell, that's pretty cool. And as I've stepped forward to see if he's going to eat it, I've spooked the trout. Now, this is where it gets wild. with this, the trout has taken off at 100 mile an hour. As I said, it's shallow, rocky water. It's gone flying across the hole. He's hit a rock and done 3 marlin jumps out of the water like you're fighting a marlin, and lands upside down stony dead. And it took me a little minute just to sort of comprehend what happened, and everyone's looking at me, and I'm thinking, I don't know what's just happened. But yeah, in hindsight, he's gone hurtling across this little trout, and he's hit this rock and stoned himself dead. And obviously the nervous system's kicked in, and he's jumped out of the water like a marlin, and he's just floating upside down the middle of the creek. So, old P2 stripped off and gone out and got him in some pretty fresh water. But we weren't going to just let him waste away there. I took him, and the kids had him. But, I thought that was pretty wild. Bit of a yarn to share with you fellas. I've never ever seen anything like it. And, let me know if anyone else has.
Unreal.
Mate, thanks for that, P2. That was pretty wild. And, I'll have to say I haven't seen anything like that. But it just brought another yarn to my mind, actually, that happened at Forster. Obviously, like I said, we're fishing in the lake. And we're only fishing in about two, maybe 3 foot of water at the most, right? Anyhow, you wouldn't read about it. Here's this pelican just floating along, Next minute, it's just gone, boom, and just picked up a good-sized bream, like werewolf fishing. Like, we really needed that fish, mate. So you fucking pelican. But anyhow, I was just gobsmacked because it's just gone along and just gone whack, boom. And, it wasn't near any structure or anything. It was just out in the open. And I've seen them get, little fish or shit before, but this was it was legal. It was definitely way past legal. And me and the non-boater just looked at each other and just said, how the fuck are we going to compete with this? So
I got a good little trout story. Fishing up Ebor. I love me trout fishing. And fishing a little stream, probably no wider than this little table.
Yep.
And hooked up onto this trout, and as Joey said, jumped out like a marlin. But this stupid thing jumped that high, jumped into the raspberry bush, and was just sitting there. I had to cross the river, walk over the river, get into the fucking raspberry bush, and get untangled. So didn't knock himself out, but put him in, jumped out of the water and got himself stuck in the raspberry bush. So unreal.
All right, guys, I think that'll wrap us up. We've gone a bit over time today, but obviously we had a lot to talk about.
It's a good one.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
We're the Two Pelicans, and we're here to make fishing great once again. Bye.